Hello, everyone. Welcome to the season finale of Always Open. This is season 3. We made it. Another season done. On today's show, we're going to be playing a little game of Cupidity, where we take questions from OkCupid. We're going to be doing a follow-up from a user who has some, I guess, follow-up from one of the advices we gave on one of the shows. And then we're going to be doing a Ask Us Anything about what makes us feel the most confident about ourselves, and a question from our newly arrived box of issues.
Beautiful.
It's like an actual mailbox. It's adorable. On today's show, you got me, Barbara Dunkelman, along with...
Hi, I'm Lawrence from Funhouse.
I'm Maggie from Rooster Teeth.
And I'm Mariel from my mother's vagina.
Oh, wow.
I came out of there once.
Did you?
I was a
Yeah.
C-section.
Were you really? Mm-hmm. I think my mom had me naturally. I don't know.
If I ever had a baby, it would be C-section.
Really?
Fuck that shit. I'm never gonna have a kid, probably.
You get red spine drugs,
What does that mean?
like an epidural.
Oh.
So they just numb the entire lower half of your body, and you don't even know where you are.
I mean, you still have the vaginal tearing between like the anus
Yeah,
and
that
the
thing does
vagina,
pop, doesn't it?
which like isn't necessarily gonna be a huge amount, but you know, some people tear more than others.
So it's just like I don't want anything coming out of that area. Things could barely go in that area.
I know.
How big's the scar?
Yeah.
I have
We
no,
had, like,
I
a
haven't
sister.
Who would ever-
been up in
Lawrence?
someone's business to look.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. Because 2 days ago, as an adult 33-year-old man, I looked directly into my butthole for the first time.
Oh.
And it occurred to me that most adults never see that area of their own body. So if you were to scar there,
Yeah.
odds are you would
I have
know.
2 questions.
Okay.
One.
There's a rash.
What was your method?
Oh, so I tried several different kinds, and it took me a while to settle on a good technique. So I tried the little like Morton Salt Girl over the shoulder with like a cell phone light.
Okay.
Didn't work very well. And then so on my closet there's like a floor to ceiling mirror.
Yep.
So you goat seed
So I
it?
just bent over
Yep.
and like looked between my legs.
Oh, you bent over. I would have.
The bend over is great.
You would have popped your legs up.
Well, because that's how
like,
you
throw
look
'em in
at your
stirrups.
vagina. Like, because I tried doing that once, and it freaked me the fuck out.
Oh, I
I've
do
never
it
done
every day.
again.
You
Really?
look at her.
I look at my orifices all the time because I want to make sure everything's in check. Self-check, very important.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised it
Stand
took
over
you.
a mirror?
Yeah.
I've never had a cause to.
Oh, okay. But you have a rash?
I do. It's I'm on the tail end of it. Thank God.
The tail end?
It's drying out.
Well, I'm happy we finally got you here.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. We've been wanting to get you on the show for a long time.
Well, thank you. No,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the show. As someone who, maybe in a typical doodly way, but also in a very stereotypical way, I have this sort of complex where I assume that if I think something, it's automatically right. And it's very good to listen to this show because people will discuss issues and I'll flash judge them. Then I'll think, well, they're all wrong. And then I'll have to train myself to be like, well, actually, wait, no, this is a subjective issue. Everyone's right in their own way. I need to actually incorporate these things because people aren't lying when they say how they feel.
It's true.
So
Also, what I'm hearing is we're going to get into a lot of arguments with you on this show.
I was going to warn you, yeah.
insane.
If I start doing that, please let me know.
No, that's good.
I will.
We like conflict.
Yeah.
I will argue with you so hard.
Yeah? Okay.
I think we also get into the habit of like sucking each other's dicks too much
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the show. We're like, oh my God, you're so right. So it's nice to have a different opinion every now and then.
Okay. Well,
But your lip stuff is good for sucking dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right before the show, as Texas was doing my lipstick gloss, I guess. This is like really sticky stuff, and he's putting it on me, and I'm like, damn, this lipstick's insane. And he's like, I've like tweeted it, but he's like, yeah, you could suck a dick and it won't move. Honey. And I was just like, duly noted.
it's like wearing armor.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, well, let's do our shot.
Yes.
Our last shot out of season 3. This is the buttery finger, and this was submitted by Becky Luna, Miles' mom.
Moms. I love moms.
I love that she watches the show, even when Miles is not on it.
Yeah.
So
I love it, but I also am like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry when I see you at RTX that you know all my shame.
As long as you do and not my mom.
Yeah.
You wouldn't watch it.
All the moms talk.
Oh God, I
There's
hope
like
not.
an RT Mom Society.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
It's a PTA.
So this is called the buttery finger, and it has Bailey's, Kahlua, and butterscotch schnapps and vodka.
Ooh.
Damn, Becky.
Hey,
Luna.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Becky.
Sounds
That's every
tasty.
college party all in one drink.
Exactly. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Shout out to you, Becky. This is a big one.
Ooh, that was a big one.
I
Smooth.
drink mine. I can't ever.
I was like, I have to drink that. That's like 3 shots in one.
Is it actually a bigger shot? Is it just
Tall,
more?
right?
It's just taller, right?
What is this?
I think
like
it's
a
2
double
ounces
shot?
versus.
It is a
Like
bigger
double
shot?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Texas, we got to get you on here. I want to show up your little outfit.
Oh, come
It's
here, Texas.
Beautiful.
if
good
you're
outfit.
okay with it.
Give us a little prance.
Texas thought he would dress up for the season finale
I did. I thought I would dress up.
and rep.
Boom, baby.
Yes. Got his little
Marvelous.
hoodie.
Ruby tights on.
a little ruby.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the ruby tights on. So yeah,
We're gonna have to put a warning on this episode.
Oh no, yeah. Excuse me, ladies. So, yeah,
We have some dance belts
they're very,
flying around.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. So yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
You've been working very hard. I'm very proud of you.
I've been trying very hard. So thank you. I'm glad you're noticing.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna go back out there.
I'm sure we'll see you soon. For
Yes,
some
you will. I'll
drinks.
take these actually.
Oh,
Thank
perfect.
you.
This has been a dream of mine. You're gonna fuck me up today, Texas.
I sure hope so. God, that is my goal. You started with a hurricane. That's a pretty.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like.
Rock
it's
I
like-
think
like
last
a
time Adam was
hurricane.
on the show,
Is that
we got
song
in trouble.
about drinking?
Rock me like a
Oh,
hurricane?
it can be, sure.
Or is it sex?
Hurricane?
I don't know.
I think it's just generic 80s
Here I
butt
am.
rock. Yeah. White Snake.
You're
No.
like a hurricane.
I don't know.
They had the girl on the car.
I'm kind of glad I don't know at this
right?
point. Yeah. You just described every 80s rock
Yeah.
song, though.
Ah, the
Whipping
girl
her hair.
pie one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't
she was
it-
like writhing
Was it Carl's?
sexily, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't it like Carl's Jr. did like a,
Yeah.
a commercial?
Wasn't Kate Upton or something?
Yeah.
They
I don't
still
know.
show
And like
that.
Miss
Like,
Turkey.
I saw it a few
for
months
their
ago.
turkey
Does
burger.
anyone eat at Carl's Jr.? I've never eaten there.
I mean, that
ate there
commercial
once, I
kind of
think.
made me want to.
Really?
It worked. I was just like, that burger looks good, and that supermodel's eating it, so I must be able to eat it and not gain any weight.
Those are the rules.
Exactly what happens.
That's how it works. All right, well, let's start off with Cupidity. For those of you who don't know, on this game, we take questions from OkCupid, and we ask our fellow contestants, aka guests, these questions in a little bit of a lightning round and see what their true feelings are, because they have no time to think about their answers. Lawrence, would you like to go first?
Sure.
Well, you're gonna.
Slam me.
All right, we ready with our timer? All right,
Judge me.
and go. Which makes better for a relationship, passion or dedication?
Passion.
Imagine you are walking down the street at night and hear a cry for help. What do you do?
Investigate it.
Good answer. Historically, have you gone through periods of forgetting about your friends as you have become involved in romantic relationships?
No.
For the right person, how long do you think that you could sustain a long-distance relationship?
Oh. The right person forever.
Forever, yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
person.
I'm also a robot, so. Maybe it's just a dude thing, but I do kind of have the ability to separate physicality from emotions. So I can get those emotions, and there are things I'm sure that would wear on me, like not being able to just sit next to someone on a couch and watch television. That's very nice.
Yeah.
There's a creature comfort there, but I can probably just rub one out and section that part of my brain off, apart from feeling dedicated and emotionally connected to a person.
Being in a long-distance relationship though forever, like that's not only emotionally taxing, but financially taxing. And
You gotta fly back and forth.
depending on where they are, at least. Like if they're within the States, it's a little easier, but if they're across country or something like that.
I think it'd have to be the sort of thing where I'm with someone in person for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and then I kind of imprint on them, and then wherever they go. I don't know. I don't know if it's just laziness or if I tend to just dedicate emotionally completely when I do. But once I'm dedicated to somebody, the part of my mind that considers other people just dies. It withers away.
Same thing happens to me.
Really?
Like if I'm like so head over heels in love with someone and I'm like dedicated to them, I don't even notice other attractive people.
But how long does that last?
Like in relationships I've been in the whole time
The whole time.
until they've ended.
I mean, I recognize other attractive people, but
I guess
don't
it's
have
more
any.
like knowing to act on it.
Yeah, it's like I have nothing compelling me to deviate. Or,
Well, you know,
plus, I'm afraid of diseases.
That's a big one. That'll help you keep away from it.
People are
Yeah,
dirty.
I don't know. Like for the right person, maybe like a couple of years, but
Yeah.
I think there needs to be for me at least an end goal.
yeah,
Of like
an end in sight.
eventually gonna live together. Because I don't want to be dating someone forever who lives not with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
But
where's Rob, Barbara? You know, he's still in.
can
Yeah, I'm like 85 years old. I'm
Tanzania.
like, I'm gonna go fly to California to visit my boyfriend. Nah, I think maybe not for me.
makes those weekends really explosive, though.
Ooh.
I mean,
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
exactly.
It's true.
I'm not arguing it's a good thing, but at least you'll never get to that point in a relationship where you just kind of get so comfortable with each other that you stop trying.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 days to like just fuck as much as you can, you're gonna it's gonna be an ordeal, and then you'll go home sore, and sweaty, and malnourished.
And I feel like I would prefer that because I don't have a huge sex drive when I'm working. Like when I get super stressed with work and stuff, it's
Yeah.
like sex is not something I want at all.
But then if
So
it's a long
like-
distance relationship.
Yeah, and we just have like these, okay, I know sex is happening here. It's gonna happen. I'm prepared. And then
Write down
And
your
then
notes. mentally train.
The worst part for me, like I've been in long distance relationships before. The worst part is always when you're planning to go see someone and then you get your period that weekend, and it's just like,
Man.
shit.
Well, the right.
Sure.
guy
Yeah.
makes
They
things
can
happen.
earn their Red Wings.
I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but it's still, I think it's more of like, for me, I don't
Yeah.
feel as sexy and confident.
Oh,
I
that
don't
makes
enjoy
sense.
sex as much when I'm on my. I don't know if like I
Just
don't
like, I'm just
like my
nervous.
nerves aren't as like responsive or something, or like if it's too lubricated.
Oh, like,
or,
physically don't
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
it.
like I don't get as much enjoyment out of it.
Well,
You're
hey,
too wet.
Yeah, it's like come on.
It's a goddamn.
style
slip-
this back.
It's a hot dog in
With
the
a
hallway.
hairdryer for a little
Someone,
bit.
Yeah.
a guy told me this one time. He's like, a girl being too wet is like a guy being too hard. It doesn't
No.
exist. And I'm like, you could be too wet to the point where you like slip and slide in all
Yeah.
over the place.
If you overapply lube, you barely feel anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just like having sex with a garbage bag or something. It's too loose and like there's like a poke here and there and you're like, oh no, it's gone. So yeah,
Duly noted. I don't use lube.
some ladies don't.
Yeah, I
have to.
don't either. It's like I'm afraid of that day.
When you need lube.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I won't know what to do. It's just
Well,
gonna
let me
be
know
all
when it
over my
happens and I'll
hands.
buy it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will. She really will.
That does make it a little awkward. Not gonna lie. So you apply and then you got lubey palm.
Yeah.
And if you go for like a tender stroke, you just
Yeah.
Luby falls.
yeah.
You try to pick her up and it's just whoop.
yeah. You get her halfway up and then bam on the floor.
All right, Maggie, you ready?
I guess.
All right, let's see where we're. Okay, cool. Got our timer and go. Would you be willing to dress up as a member of the opposite sex if it would turn your partner on?
Yes.
Would you ever seriously date someone half your age?
Yeah. No.
If you and you did the math, if you and your partner lived alone together, how much time would you spend naked while in your home?
Probably the same amount I do now. Barely any.
Let's say you ask your partner a question and know with certainty that their answer is a lie. What do you do about it?
Confront them about it, because be honest.
It's a good answer.
I think you would be a nudie. I feel like
Yeah.
I thought you were
mean,
gonna say all the time.
I don't like not having underwear on. There's something about my
that.
vagina being open that makes me feel vulnerable.
I agree entirely. I
vulnerable
want to feel a little
vaginas.
strapped up.
Yeah.
Like ready to go if I need to.
It's just like,
It's like a
Sound
black
wind-
hole.
Sound wind blowing over an
Yeah.
open bottle. all the
yeah.
time, yeah.
Plus I have animals, and it's like they're gonna sniff up anything, and it's like if I don't have that covered, then like Nico's nose is like gonna get in there.
Oh, 'cause
I'm not
he's
into
tall
that.
too.
Yeah.
See, I like wearing just a t-shirt. I don't like wearing underwear.
You don't wear underwear in your your daily life. I don't
No.
know, man. I just,
Literally, I get home and all the pantaloons are off. Yeah, underwear, pants, everything.
Have you considered different fits of underwear? Maybe you can find something that's comfortable.
I
You
just
probably
like
try it.
letting I like letting her breathe. And yes, it's a her,
Princess Peach, right?
Princess Peach.
I never forget.
Yeah.
I hold her in my heart forever.
Oh, do you?
Is that
Well,
what
I
you call
hold
your
her
hand?
every night.
No, that's
As we cuddle before bed.
my heart.
Man, that last question was gold though. Like when you know someone's lying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in that circumstance. That's tough. That's
I-
real tough.
I'm terrible at confronting people. I have trouble with that, and I've been in situations where I know someone's lying, and I don't know how to react to it.
Why are you bad at confrontation?
Because I'm worried about what's going to happen if it blows up.
Okay.
And I like keeping everyone happy,
Yeah.
including myself and the other person I'm dealing with, even if they've done something wrong. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, if this goes wrong, is this all going to end because I had to confront them about this thing?
Right.
I've just been in enough shitty relationships at this point where like people did lie enough that like I've found I have the confidence to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're gonna talk to me about this and we're gonna talk about it like honestly. So
Yeah.
I feel that.
Well, I've got a. So sometimes it's not that. It's not as like there's not something that's like a direct lie. There's like a partial lie. So here's a devil's circumstance that I actually went through. So I had an ex that after a while through the relationship, we'd be like in a room together and she'd just be on her laptop the whole time, like doing stuff, typing. I could hear it happening. And this happened like 3 or 4 days in a row. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? It sounds like you're working on something. She said, oh, nothing. Just like going around the internet. I was like, that doesn't make sense, but I'll let it slide because I trust you. And then for the next couple of weeks, I was like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, just internet. After long enough, she was actually like taking online classes, which was kind of odd that she didn't tell me But it's weird to be in that situation where you know somebody's not being entirely truthful, but they're also not directly lying. And if you confronted them about it, they can just, I guess it's almost like a gaslighting situation where like, you're just overreacting. I'm like, well, I know something's going on. So I
get
don't know
that.
what you do in that
Well, that's
situation.
also
Especially it's not something of malice either.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That's
so it's
also
like-
like, especially if you're dating this person and they're not telling you something as big as like taking online classes is a pretty big deal. It's like, why wouldn't you want to share that with someone you're with?
Well, this person had a bit of anxiety about it. They didn't want people to know because they didn't want other people to like ask them about it. And if they failed out of the class, they didn't have to explain that or feel like a failure.
I get that.
I mean,
So
I feel like
she had her
that's
own thing,
their
but-
problem. It's like,
yeah.
because like I'm the type where it's like if I know you're lying to me and you're not being clean, like I did this with one of my exes. Like he was texting his ex, and I was like, okay, I know you're texting her, but I know you're texting her inappropriately, and you won't own up to it. And so like I went into his phone. It's like I don't care. We're together for years now. Like I should.
You violated
can
the
look at
trust
my
first.
stuff.
Yeah.
I can look at your stuff. Like that's how I
Yeah,
feel.
it shouldn't be at a like
It's
where
never,
you're
like-
doing things that would cause me not like. There shouldn't be something on your phone that I shouldn't see.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's like gonna protect their stuff to the point where like I can't look at anything. And it's like if it's confidentiality stuff, like that's whatever. But sorry, I'm watching Billions for the first time. So.
I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm curious.
But it's like I'm not above doing the detective work because it's
Yeah.
like if you're not hiding anything bad, then it doesn't matter anyway. So it's like I don't know. I also go into these relationships like no boundaries. Like this is all just we're together.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Well, okay, devil's advocate. Let's say you go into his phone, nothing's going on, and then he knows that you did that, and he's like, "Why did you do that?" That
I
was
mean, I
my
would
phone."
tell him that I went
Yeah,
into the phone.
you're just like, these are the terms of our relationship.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
allowed
like,
to do that.
Because you were so cagey about letting me see it, I went ahead and I looked. And if that's a deal breaker, then fuck you, because like I need to know what's going on.
Do you guys have the passcodes to, or have you had the passcodes to like a boyfriend girlfriend's
Never.
phone? Really?
I do.
No.
Yeah, Laura has mine.
I mean, I'm just observant too. It's like I don't mean to look at people's passcodes, but it's like I can't help it. Like
It just happens.
I couldn't hide anything from Laura though because she's constantly like, "What are you doing?" Like, she does this thing. She'll look over at my phone. She'll go, "Sorry,
She'll like say, just call herself out on it.
sorry."
Yeah, it's hard not to look when someone's like opening up their phone. We're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trained to. It's
Yeah.
activity.
yeah. It's,
Also, man, when somebody's like, when they're like typing real mad, you're like, oh, some shit's going down.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And I want to know what's going
it
on.
happens to me on planes all the time where someone's like texting, and I do one of these
Oh yeah.
Man,
where I'm like, I don't know who this person
dude.
is or what they are,
Strangers?
and they're talking to
Fuck
like
yeah.
some guy named like Gilbert about some like
I have a
crazy
cousin
thing.
named Gilbert.
I saw the most confusing and possibly disgusting text exchange on a plane. I was flying into Atlanta, and the guy next to me, whom I hate, by the way, because he got me sick. He was like sniffling and coughing on me the whole time. Jerk.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get worse. He messaged and said, "Hey, I landed." And then I think there was, I'm trying to remember the order of the messages, but there was one like, "We can go to a hotel if your mom is uncomfortable." And I was like,
Oh.
the only math that I could do, because this guy looked like he spent a lot of time on the internet. So I think he was flying out to see his internet girlfriend who is living with her parents, which either means she's underage or maybe just kind of hasn't flown the
Or
nest
maybe
yet.
her parents are racist.
Well, he was white though.
But
yeah,
you can
maybe.
be
That's true.
I
That's
don't
true.
know. It's like
Can't be
That's
racist
true.
against white people. That's what you're gonna say.
Let's continue on before we get any more dicey on this subject. All right, Meryl, you ready?
Yes.
You ready with our timer? Perfect. Cool. And go. Which is more important in your life, passion or happiness?
Passion.
How would you react if your lover called you by the name of their ex?
Ooh, not well.
Would you ever consider a relationship where you would take on an exclusive sexual role as master or slave?
Probably not. No, I'd like to kink shame.
Are the best days of your life A, in the future, the past, or right now?
I would hope right now, but also in the future.
Fair enough. Good.
I don't think it's kink shaming to say that you don't want that to be the only role you
But
have in the relationship.
The thing is, I want to be kink shaming always.
That's her kink.
Oh, I'm
Meryl's
sorry.
kink is kink shaming.
I'm sorry.
My latest thing right now is just trying to. I haven't seen The Shape of Water yet, and I understand Guillermo del Toro is an amazing.
One more time?
Yeah, what?
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, there you go.
for that.
You can't.
But I just want to know if she fucks that fish, and I want to know, and I want to shame it. I know. I don't
shame
know
in
if
that
she
game.
does or not. I do know the answer to that question, but I will not say it
I'll just
here.
tell you
Is-
after. I've seen the movie.
Is the
Yeah, I know.
movie just about the like creation of mermaids? I actually don't know what this movie's about.
It's about fucking a fish.
Honestly, go in blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an inversion of Beauty and the Beast, if you want to like
Okay.
package it up.
It's incredible.
It's very, very good.
It is one of the most unique magical movies I've ever seen in my life.
Does she fuck the fish though?
I said inversion. Does Belle
does
fuck
something.
Beast?
I don't know. Does she?
Does it
I
involve
mean,
yeast?
I would.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the size of that dick?
Well, hey, you just said that you didn't want your perineum ruptured or whatever that thing is.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Beast
I'm
would tear
okay
that
with
thing
it
wide open.
happening by things going in.
I see.
Oh.
I see. I see. Well, it's got to come out.
Giving it-
Okay.
No, I
You would need an epidural to fuck Beast.
You would.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's,
Just numb me.
yeah,
Quite
my desires are
literally.
different, and it's just a needle. And
Although I would laugh if the beast
All right,
just
let's
had
go.
like a regular sized man penis. Like nothing else.
like a little toddler thumb.
Yeah.
No, look. Ah, that's why he's so mad all the time.
My brother has been saying this terrible thing, but he refers to having sex as like getting up in them guts. Beast would get up
God.
in your guts.
You gotta say it right, though.
Oh, I
You
don't
gotta say
like
it right.
that.
You don't
like
guts.
Get up in their guts.
I would never have that sort of relationship with my brother, so I'm just kind of like, this is a whole new world to me.
Yeah, I don't know. We're close. Not that close. Let's go to the question. I don't know. All right, we ready to start? Okay, go. Is there any genre of music you refuse to listen to?
No.
Have you traded a lover's sexual favors for something you wanted? Have you ever?
No.
Is intoxication ever an acceptable excuse for acting stupid?
Yes.
Would you lie to keep your lover from going to jail?
Yes.
Would you be pleased if a partner expressed a desire to be sexually humiliated by you?
Yes.
How important is it for your partner to have many friends?
Very.
You should watch Billions.
Yeah? I need to know what the show's
The
about.
friends or the humiliation?
Isn't it like about
humiliation.
stocks?
Yeah. Okay.
Stocks?
It's about I want to say he's like an attorney general or a district attorney or something, and then like his wife works at this big hedge fundy place. I don't know, stuff I don't understand, but it's the relationship with the district attorney guy has with his wife is like
She pees on him.
she does.
Nice.
Oh, hot.
So
Is it on Netflix?
it's a Showtime show.
Okay. I don't have Showtime. But I'll
We'll figure it out.
it seems worth it. You need another drink.
It's Paul
don't you?
Giamatti.
Indeed, I do.
What do you want?
Something they would serve in New Orleans to forget their problems.
Is that something that you can make at
Texas just gave us stuff. He's like, don't even worry about it. I
Yeah,
got
he's
you.
got you.
I saw this one documentary. It was about like a dom sub relationship, except it was totally online, so like kind of long distance. So there was this. It was actually a woman who was a professional dominatrix, and she was like dominating this dude, and he was going on about how he loved being humiliated and stuff. I just love it when people find their happiness, but it was crazy because she would like tell him, okay, put on your belt, and then he'd strap up in the morning. He'd have to text her everything he ate and be like, you're over calories, go run, fat piggy, and he'd do it. And he'd smiling the whole time. It's like, man, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
I think I answered yes to that one, right? The humiliated
Yeah,
one.
you did.
it's a bit of a start.
It's like I don't like dominating in that way though. Like I feel like that's kind of like a dominating move. And I don't know. I feel kind of like I would do it if it made that person happy.
Yeah.
But I also don't
You
know if
wouldn't
that's
get
me.
any enjoyment from it.
No, I'd be like, you're a fat slob.
Oh, yeah. Say it
Sorry.
again. Step on me.
Or like public humiliation too. I've seen people do that, and it's just like, not for me.
Those porns always make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people? Like, there are ones with like buses that people go into and stuff, and it's like, where is this?
I saw one once where there was a girl, someone was getting all up in her guts at like a record store. People were just watching. I'd never.
Are you sure it wasn't like paid actors in there?
I mean, I'm sure it was. I mean, it was just like, scrolling across, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, I talked about this porn I saw on a recent episode of Always Open of like somewhere in Europe somewhere where there was like these glory holes, but they were bigger, and so like women had like their whole vaginas out there or like their asses or their mouths or something, and there'd be guys just like fucking each hole.
Lined up, yeah.
Apparently, according to the comments, a lot of people have seen this one.
I'm sure there's probably more than one.
And it's all like actors and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's not an actual like public place that people go.
okay.
It's like a setup for this film that they were doing.
Gotcha.
But it looks real.
Yeah, well, so I guess I've seen photos of an art installation, maybe
Okay.
generous, but it essentially is ladies that are like doubled over and their ass is shoved through a hole, and then the the patrons of this installation can smell. It was Japanese, so take that for what it is.
Okay.
It could have been a paid, produced thing, but when you see a photo out of context, it just grabs the interest.
Yeah.
This is like a fucking thing, not although a smelling thing. I don't know if that's weird or not.
And that's like a hyper glory hole.
It's weird when people like what was it? There was I think a few months ago some like sex robot was on display at some like tech conference, and they were just like, oh, like look at this robot, and like she got fucking destroyed.
Fucked to death.
Yeah, like literally like broken fingers, like all these things, and the creators were like, well, what'd you do this?
Where was it?
It was somewhere in like, I don't know, somewhere in Europe.
She doesn't have feelings.
Well, no, but still, it's like, what, I don't know, like, I guess the question is, if you're allowed to do just like whatever you want to something, like how far would you go, you know?
Apparently very.
I mean, I've never broken a vibrator.
Okay,
Me neither, Maggie.
all right,
I mean,
But I think the question is, would someone break one using it on you?
yeah.
oh,
And surely there is someone sociopathic enough
yeah.
to try.
Yeah.
Please don't.
No, should not.
I was trying to think about this the other day. I was talking to someone about sex toys. How many sex toys do you have?
I only have like 2 right now, I think.
One.
One. The
The
one.
one.
Answer?
The one.
There was the only one you had.
Well, I told you, the whole reason we had this conversation was because I didn't have any anymore.
Do you have any sex toys?
No, I'm actually horrifyingly boring. I've never used a masturbatory aid ever.
So,
no lotion, no
ooh,
nothing.
You might be a good person for this. This is before we move on to our next segment, I just want to mention that someone who watches the show, I'm blanking on her name right now, but I'll tweet her later. She sent me a box of sex toys. She sent me 2 vibrators
What?
and a fake vagina,
Oh.
like something you fuck. I cannot.
Test the scissoring principle.
I cannot use this.
Yeah, you could scissor
fake
with it.
But you
vagina
could learn how to eat a vagina out.
for all the times that I'll be doing
Yeah.
that.
You should give it to Tyler Coe.
Okay.
He could probably.
Have you guys seen the fleshlight taped to the exhaust pipe on a
Yep.
truck?
Yep.
Oh my
What?
Oh
gosh.
God.
Someone taped a fleshlight into
Oh,
an exhaust
God.
pipe, and so they turn it on, and it's just like, and it's just like blowing smoke out of
They
it.
fuck
And
it?
no,
Are you
I
sure
have
it
seen
wasn't
that
the guy who fell in love with his car?
Yeah,
that
I've
was on
seen
TLC.
that. TLC.
different.
People who
video.
are
Could have been the same guy.
I never checked out.
similar to the guy who fell in love with like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And he,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fucks little replicas of the Eiffel Tower.
TLC. It's a TLC series, right?
I miss
I
like
love
my
My weird obsession.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something. Yeah, I miss.
Oh,
that
that's
show.
also the one lady that like eats foam from couches. Okay, I haven't
or
seen the whole
like
series.
concrete.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of sexual things, we have a follow-up segment here. This was submitted by an anonymous user, but every now and then we have people email the show talking about stuff that we've mentioned on the show, or if we've answered their questions, they send an email to tell us what happened. And this was unexpected. So this person writes, "You guys said you'd like to hear from us if anything on the show ever worked out. My fiance and I watched the episode with Josh Flanagan the other day where he talked about tying up his girlfriend. Barbara mentioned how turned on she was from that. My fiance had a very noticeable reaction to the whole scenario. So some quick research and a shopping trip later, I had everything we needed. It was honestly the hottest sex we ever had. By the time I finished tying her harness up, she was so turned on that she was literally begging for me to fuck her, something she has never done before. We wanted to thank you guys for the great time and wondered if there was anything else you love doing in bed." That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Can you imagine that trip to like Walmart though? It's like, all right, babe, go find the nylon ropes.
Pick a harness.
I'm like surprised that they went all out and got the harness and everything. That's awesome.
It's
Like,
probably just rope or something that they
Yeah.
made a harness out of.
Well,
I
to
assume.
reiterate, the story, Josh Flanagan told a story about how he
left a note.
left a note. You're right. Wow, you did watch this show.
It's a good episode, yeah.
Or yeah, he like left his girlfriend a note and was just like, here's these. He was like, I'm gonna go do laundry. Here's these things. I want you like tied up when I come back.
When I
And
come back,
he came back and she was like, all right. Funny enough, she's a good friend of ours. And so now every time I see her, I'm just like, ooh, girl.
She's gonna hate us.
Yeah. But now, hey, it works out for other
Hey
people
man,
too.
there's nothing wrong with like being tied up. Liking
Yeah.
being tied up. I think
like
you
it.
should own it. Yeah. I like it.
There was one time we tied you up on free play. Did you like that?
I did.
Dirty bitch.
Yeah, so only I was like lying on the concrete floor, like in my jeans. Hot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tied anyone up?
Like in Boy Scouts. Which is not as attractive as it sounds. Goodness, that's sweet.
It says.
Oh man, young boys. Yeah.
Very good with knots.
I wonder if that's where like the fetish starts from.
Like
I've been-
just nuts.
I guess there's a lot of
Naughty.
a lot of thoughts about where not safe. Very nice. No, unfortunately, my sexual history is about as vanilla as it comes. I'm still in the phase of just being so grateful for getting laid at all, because there's a very long dry spell in the early going. So I have yet to get so bored with lights off Christian missionary sex that
So it's
I wanna
just
explore.
missionary.
At 9
That's
p.m.
yeah.
my question. Like,
At 9
no other positions?
No. There's other
Okay.
positions, but have yet to introduce any like toys, whips, gags,
Is that
finger and throat.
Is that lack of interest from both you and your partner, or is just
hard to say?
Okay.
Because I have a raft of like grew up very conservative Christian, so never really like I think there's still some baked in walls around that area of my soul, and then also having being massively overweight for 20 years did a number on both my like willingness to explore or desire to have something more than just normal intercourse. It may be buried in there somewhere, and maybe I just need to be honest with myself and
maybe you
dig
need to
it
be
out.
like these people and try it
Sure.
and have the best sex of your life?
So that's the thing.
You're welcome.
I'm fascinated by that process because clearly this gentleman's fiance or their fiance it should be reacted to something in a fictional scenario. So
Right.
there was a spark there. There was like, oh damn, that's doing something. I don't know that I've really felt that in regards to much.
Okay.
So do you need that spark first, or do you just jump into it and then see if it works?
So like everything that's happened with me realizing that I like certain things is when the person just did something
Really?
of that nature, and I'm just like, oh, I like that. It's never been, or like I was watching porn or like some video where I'm like, that looks hot. Like I'm getting turned on by that scenario, so I would like to try that. But it's never been like, oh, like I've heard people talk about this thing, maybe I should try that out just for fun. It's always been because I've been interested in it happening.
I see.
I've needed that little push, like from my partners and stuff, to try new things. And,
Yeah.
Like I'm always thankful for it, and I'm glad we talk about it before it happens. But
Communication.
yeah,
Have you ever had it not go well?
That tone of voice implies yes.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
I remember one time I was with someone and we were like, oh, like let's try tying some hands up, and we used belts that like just didn't work. So it was like,
Not
yeah, like
restrictive. 30
30 seconds in, it was like, oops, hello, pop pop.
There have been times where it was when I did the shibari rope. I already forget what it's called. It's like the Japanese like rope tying
yeah.
technique.
That's one where you're like wrapped up multiple times over.
Yeah,
and over.
like and all over. It's
your
like,
boobs
it's like
get
a
like
harness.
sandwiched.
Yeah, I
right?
got like
Boobs get
squished.
sandwiched.
Oh my god.
And
We didn't get there in Boy Scouts.
there was this time where my ankles were tied to my wrists. In, like,
my
the
God.
So you're
position.
basically hogtied? Oh no, wait, you're like forced to kneel or be on the knees.
It was like backwards.
Oh, so almost hogtied then.
Yeah. And I got a really bad cramp in my leg. And it's like hard to be sexy and tied up where you're just like,
Man,
like, you're just like, let me just untie this so I can just stretch this back out.
it's the flat tire of sex, basically.
I'd say that's like the worst thing that's probably ever happened in that situation.
Yeah.
I had a guy that like, and I don't remember if I've talked about this before, but he wanted me to bite his dick while I gave him a blowjob.
Like actually bite?
Yeah, like teeth on the dick and pressure.
Oh.
And that was the only time I've been taken out of something because I was so self-conscious about like, am I gonna hurt him? Like, this is such a sensitive area that I don't understand what the
Some people
limitations
say that,
are.
but they don't,
and
like, no,
yeah,
like,
but
they need to
so
specify the.
I tried lips over teeth first, and he was like, no, that's not enough. And then it was like, okay, I'm gonna destroy your dick right now, and your dick skin is in my teeth. And,
Hot?
I mean,
Even still.
skin comes off, it's like,
Okay.
or like skin flakes, not like,
Sure.
not like, a layer of skin. Just like, if you scratch someone, you get little
You got no skin. You got no skin.
little skin flakies from it.
Did it. I moisturize. You're a damn liar.
You ever have your dick flakies come?
I'm sure they have. But not to my knowledge, no. At least I've never gotten a report after the fact. Which,
24 dick
like a
flakies
hairball.
today, Lawrence. Thank you so much.
that's down. I'm doing good.
So this person does ask if there's anything else you like doing in bed or love doing in bed. That
Not anything
like,
I'm going to
recently
share with
discovered.
you, internet.
No?
No, I mean, I'm pretty vanilla.
Shaming.
It is always open, Meryl. Just putting that out.
Yeah, no, but it really is like, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been pushed.
Having no
Maybe you should
control
tie
with
me
a
up, Barbara.
vibrator.
That might be weird.
It's a thing, right?
Having what?
I'll just
No
tell you,
control with a
No
vibrator.
control. Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
the control with the vibrator.
Yeah, like someone else is in control, and you're just like,
I
I
do like
can't
that.
stop this. This okay?
Yeah.
It's happening. I'm coming.
Yeah. Just like, is that how you do
Just
it?
like
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
Hey,
Don't get too excited.
Coming over here. It's Maggie.
I recently realized that I really liked being choked a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I do like
didn't-
being
it wasn't
choked, yeah.
something I realized that I liked before, but it's not like to the point where I can't breathe. But it's like a strong, like
Pressure.
Yeah.
firm hold.
I don't know, a little bit of not being able to breathe, like as long as you trust the person and not like actually make you pass out.
Yeah.
But like I get why autoerotic asphyxiation is a thing because it's like when you get that point where like you're having trouble in taking blood, it's just in taking blood.
I can't get any more blood.
A little euphoric though.
Yeah, it's like the oxygen deprivation. I don't know.
That's tough though.
Also, the hand over the mouth is pretty hot too. Like if you're being loud and you get your mouth covered, I
didn't-
like that
my
too.
mom's
I
gonna
don't like
hear
that. I like that.
It's like my germophobia kicks in with that, and I'm just like, this hand has been touching disgusting things, and it's
A lot of
just
sewage factories. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, for me, sex is just like a sloppy, just bodies and sweat and just people's hands in places. Yeah, and other things.
how many people?
Have you ever gotten like a
80 billion.
you're doing your things, whatever, hands go in places maybe they should, and then you get like a nice, what you mentioned earlier, like a lubie, like
Yeah.
like a
Little graze.
Or like kissing a guy after he goes down on you. Like, that's
taste
always
yourself?
Yeah.
yeah. That's always a.
Yeah, it's like
Well, I mean, so I feel like that. Yeah, A2M scenarios that. Ideally, those are worked out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, oh, you got ass mouth. Like that's
Yeah.
that stuff kind of ruins the mood. But still, it's also like from my perspective, if I have an assy mouth, were I to have an assy mouth, it is weird because you're like, this is the time when we like tenderly kiss, but
Yeah.
I don't want to shove all that right in her mouth. And you know, conversely, although I do think, man, if you receive a blowjob, you're honor bound.
I mean, that's
mouth
how
up
I feel.
after.
It's like I'm not gonna show the guy that I'm like not comfortable with this, but it's like.
Apparently, some ladies are into that. It's like a domination move. You blow a dude, and then you're just like, let's go, boom, and you shove it in his
Oh,
mouth.
ugh.
oh.
Yeah,
I would never do that.
What,
I would.
why does it matter? I don't know. I mean,
Take it like an oyster.
power, control.
take like a noise.
control.
Yeah, just let the cum
Do
slide
you
down.
feel in control?
Oh, you're talking about semen.
I was.
Were you talking
Artfully.
about semen?
Yeah,
Oh no, I swallowed.
just a dicky mouth, whatever.
Oh, a dicky mouth.
I mean, a
semen.
dicky mouth I'll do, but like.
Even if you swallow, there's still some in there.
Yeah, but
An ode de semen
true.
essence, if you will.
I can't
So,
believe
like-
it's not semen.
Lady,
Memories of semen.
Spread it on your bread.
when a lady comes in your mouth, is that like.
That's not like a
Okay, that's what I'm wondering. Like, I don't really understand lady jizz. I've only jizzed on things, not.
Do you
To
projectile?
No,
Some
I'm
women,
not a squirter,
squirt.
but
Yeah.
So does that go in your mouth ever?
I've never had that experience.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's a very common thing. It's not like
I
every
mean, I
time
know there's a
woman.
cummy discharge, but it's not like a shoot.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
We are
Yeah.
so getting demonetized.
I know. We should
Sorry,
move
I'm
on.
sorry.
No, it's great.
Great phrase.
Cummy discharge.
It's Lawrence in the Cummy Discharge.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, playing downtown
a
every
good
other
band.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So, any tips you want to give?
I'm just
before we
happy
move
this
on?
person like tried because I always forget that people actually watch this show. Not that I don't believe in it, but like I had this weird moment the other day where I was talking to some of the girls in marketing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that last episode of Always Open," and I was like, "Wait, you watched the show?"
Yeah.
I just imagine if anyone who watches it is outside of our realm, not people that I would ever interact with.
Yeah,
but,
I always forget.
but it's super cool that someone would be like, "Oh, like would take that from our show and be like, oh, like."
Well, I just
you
like the
should try it
idea
out."
of people watching it like with their significant others.
Yeah, which is
And
awesome.
being like maybe that opening the door to talk about something, whereas before they were too shy or too embarrassed or something, and that's awesome.
So hey, if
So
you
good
wanna-
on y'all.
If you want to get your rocks off, come watch Always Open. Get some ideas.
Yeah.
Bring in your plus one. make
Actually-
them watch it.
I could ask for some advice.
Oh.
So the one scenario that I have perceived where my significant other did react in a way, very primal way. That one scene in Brokeback Mountain, when they like see each other for the first time and they just like pull each other into an alleyway and they start making out. That is her thing.
Okay.
And I don't know how I channel that in any way.
She comes home, you pin her to the wall.
So is it a surprise makeout thing that she's into, or is
Maybe.
it like
I think
a,
maybe the demonstration
or the
of passion.
forceful?
Or is it two
Or
men?
gay cowboys.
Maybe two men, but it also maybe.
I mean,
two
would
gay-
you be willing to kiss a man?
I just think what you could do.
It's a really good question.
I think you should. That's
I mean,
what
it would only be for
once,
her.
you know?
Yeah.
I think for that scenario, I think maybe it's the idea also of being in public and taking her like somewhere private right away.
Okay.
And like surprising her. Like maybe if you're gonna go meet some people at a bar or a restaurant.
Find
and,
a
like,
unisex bathroom.
just before you're gonna go in there, like pull
Good
her
idea.
into like on the side of the building or something, somewhere not too sketchy,
Right.
and just like surprise
Next
her.
to a
Or, like,
dumpster?
yeah,
Do
or if
this
she
in
needs-
Austin, not in LA.
Okay. Yeah. Good idea.
Or if she needs to like go to the bathroom or something, like at a restaurant, like if you're with a group of people, like get up and also go and like pull her.
What if
into
she's
the-
not ready? She's like, I'm just gotta
That's
pee.
the thing.
Lauren.
So I
just gotta piss.
Wait
struggle
until
so
she
much with
pees
that.
and then wait for her outside the bathroom. And
waiting
then,
next to the stall,
Yeah.
like lock the door. So it's tough when I don't know what DNA I was born without to be, well, I guess I have done it on occasion, but to be the asshole dude who just sort of takes assumptions and is primal about it. It's tough even when a partner says, I want you to do this, you have an open invitation to do it. It's really tough to, I guess, not be cowardly.
It's also like reading the room. Sometimes it could be difficult.
I don't do that very
I mean, maybe to start things off, it's like, hey, I'm planning on doing this at dinner tonight. Are you cool? And then
Really good
work your
idea.
way up to, I'm just going to randomly do this.
I guess I feel as though to discuss it would destroy
Destroy the
what makes it
surprise?
work. But if that is a stepping stone to make it actually work, then it's valuable to do.
So how did she bring? Was she just like, you know that scene?
Yeah, how
There's
did she
two
Or were
gay
y'all
boys.
watching it together?
Those-
Well, she brought it up, and then she put the movie on because she was like working herself up thinking about it. And then she was like, "You need to sit here and watch this." And I was like, "I don't like seeing."
I mean, that movie is really hot. Like,
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a very passionate movie.
I just can't quit you.
That you say that to me every day.
I do.
There's also some things you could do, I think, like speaking as a woman myself, like if I was with my partner and we were somewhere in public and he would like, you know, when you're starting to get a little frisky, like the hand on the thigh and like there's certain things where you could kind of warm each other up. So it's like, yeah, she might get a little turned on and then you surprise her with that thing. So it's not like, oh, you're just having like a casual hangout and all of a sudden you're making out like
I
out
see.
of the blue. So definitely think you gotta warm each other up maybe a little bit before that happens.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's really good advice. That is
Ho-
a skill set
hopefully-
I don't have.
We'll have you back on the show next season so you could tell us.
Great. Yeah, I'll report
follow
back.
up.
Yeah, send an email if we.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I'm glad you guys watched the show together, and I'm going to put everyone watching in an awkward position right now. If you're watching with your significant other, pause the show, look at each other, and say, "Hey, is there anything that you desire?" And you're back now after hopefully having some hot sex or whatever you like to do. Don't feel pressured.
Maybe some boob fondling.
Maybe some
Light.
maybe some surprise hallway makeouts or whatever that is.
What I would just imagine how the greatest thing would be like, look, I got you what you wanted, and it's just two cowboys just like.
Yeah. There they are. You got them for an hour. Do what you want. And I just
But they're like,
put out a folding chair.
are you happy? Did I make you happy?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Casper, for sponsoring this episode of Always Open.
Speaking of beds,
Speaking of beds, this episode of Always Open is brought to you by Casper. Casper is a sleep brand that continues to revolutionize its line of products to create an exceptionally comfortable sleep experience, one night at a time. Casper's mattresses are designed by humans for humans. I love that line. They combine multiple supportive memory foams for a quality sleep service with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Its breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulate your body temperature throughout the night. They're not just a mattress company. Casper offers a wide array of products to ensure an overall better sleep experience. As I've said many times, I have a Casper mattress. It is incredible. And every time I meet someone new and we hang out, I say, you should come over and experience my Casper mattress
That's amazing.
because you will like it
Yeah.
for many reasons, especially that right bounce. It's
Yep.
very important for a lot of things. You could buy it easily online and completely risk-free. It'll be delivered right to your door in a compact box. Casper understands the importance of truly trying out a mattress that in all reality you spend a third of your life on. Casper offers free delivery and painless returns within a 100-day period, so you don't have to lie down in a showroom. Casper is available in the US, Canada, and now the UK. All right, Casper for you.
Great accent.
oi,
Right?
mate.
Oi, mate, Casper! Start sleeping ahead of the curve with Casper. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/open and use the promo code OPEN at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. That's $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/open and using the promo code OPEN at checkout. Thank you, Casper. I love my Casper mattress.
It's amazing.
I'll say it every day.
Can you invite me over so I can
Do you want to come
test
over and
it?
sleep on my bed? It's a king mattress. There's plenty of room for both of us.
Oh,
And a third if we want.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Wink.
Or 4?
Hey.
Hey,
I'll try that.
Yeah, sure.
let's do an episode from my bed one day.
Yeah.
All right, so for our next topic, this is our Ask Us Anything segment. And this one comes from Beth P. And Beth asks, what makes you feel the most confident about yourself? I wanted to, the reason I picked this question for the show is because it's our season 3 finale, and we're about to end the year in 2017. And I want to end on a high note and talk about all the things we like about ourselves and what makes us feel confident. Because I think we could all use some more positivity and some acknowledgement of how awesome we all are.
Is that booze? Give me. Alcohol makes me feel very self-confident.
Self-confident.
Yeah.
There you go, sir.
Like, are we talking attraction,
It could
physical,
be mental, physically, kind of
One
like
thing
whatever
that
makes
made me
feel
feel
good.
confident this year was how great and how well our Mia Khalifa episode did.
Yeah.
Just because that was a thing that I had been talking about since we first started this show. I knew that she lived here in Austin and that she's a friend of ours, and we should have had her on the show. And it was nice to see it like pay off as well as I hoped it would.
So is it a lot of like kind of success in your job that makes you feel confident?
Yeah, and just feeling that like everything that I feel like I've gotten through work is because of hard work and not because it's ever been handed to me, and I feel confident in my abilities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I totally feel you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having
Very similar.
Yeah, it's like work is what makes me feel the most confident. It's like in my personal life, I'm not very self-assured. I'm not like how I am in the office. And so it's like when people see me in the office versus see me in my personal life, it's like this huge, like,
Discrepancy?
Yeah.
Do you think it also helps because you run a department? You run the 2D
Yeah.
department at Rooster Teeth, the 2D
And
animation.
it's like being able to have been given that authority, which like I got after years working my way up, but like seeing that the hard work brought on new responsibilities and like that I do have a team of people relying on me. It's like that's what brings me confidence, is that I'm able to prove myself to be able to accomplish that. So
What about physically?
I like my eyes.
You have beautiful eyes. You're both very beautiful. You're beautiful too, Lawrence.
Oh, thank you.
You look great. Lawrence has lost
Yeah.
a ton
You
of
look
weight.
amazing.
You've been
Yeah.
working
Right.
out.
Amazing.
You look
Yeah. Trying or working out, starving.
Been getting in them guts.
Yeah, trying to. I can almost see him now. It's weird. These bumps are starting to pop out of my body. It's like
called
warm.
a penis.
That is. I just slapped at it.
Was there ever a point where you couldn't see your penis? You have to be really big for that, right? Like,
Not necessarily.
okay. I guess there's that chub
If
roll.
you're not
that
excited,
comes-
yeah.
Right.
And it also
Yeah,
droops. So.
that's true.
Yeah.
And if you're in the shower and you're looking straight down, the
I wasn't
perspective
thinking
doesn't
about
do you.
like a flaccid.
I could always see
yeah.
my toes, but I
that's
think
good.
there was a phase in life where I couldn't exactly see my dick. So that's cool.
But now you see it all the time.
Yeah, it's all I ever look at.
Did y'all ever hear the thing of like, as long as your boobs go out further than your stomach, you're okay?
Which is bullshit.
Oh,
because
Yeah.
come
people
on.
have small
Yeah.
boobs.
Cares.
Yes.
Also,
It's like,
yeah,
that's
don't
not a
listen
thing.
to any of that shit.
That's not a thing.
You're
That's-
okay.
Don't. Yeah.
No matter what the fuck you look like, as long as you're happy and healthy.
Yeah.
I would say physically, dimples, just because this is what
You do have adorable
people give me the
dimples.
most confidence.
You've also been working hard on your exercise and diet.
Not lately, but I've lost weight. Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
I actually was watching an episode from like season 1, and I did like I've never thought you were like anything but perfect and beautiful, and I was like, damn, like Meryl's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I've slimmed down a bit.
Didn't even
I
notice.
just eat less bread, which is hard because I love bread.
Bread makes you fat.
No,
I love bread too. Bread's my vice.
But yeah, it's always a thing that my dad has really great dimples, and luckily that's like probably the only reason why I would want to have kids, just to see if I could genetically.
Give us a little dimple flash.
Oh, there.
Can't now.
Oh, there.
Oh, there they are.
You're doing it.
I always wanted dimples as a kid, so I fucking hate you.
I'm sorry. You could like,
You have
pierce your
the
cheek.
dimples that come out
Yeah, you
and
got
start your smile.
chin
Like,
ones,
yeah,
too.
see?
There you go.
Yeah.
It's getting better and better.
Hey, if any, and people used to make. I mean, not me. I was never bullied, but people used to say that they are. I mean, they're a deformity. They're a facial deformity, but people would be like, "Oh, you're just deformed."
Are you serious?
They're
What
jealous.
age?
Fuck
I
them.
mean, I don't know, like a kid.
I'll find them. Tell
But it
me
was
who they
never. It
are.
was never anything. It was just like, well, you're just jealous because I'm very cuter, much cuter than you.
I'm very cuter.
I'm very cuter than you.
I think for me, what makes me feel confident, like physically especially, like I'm happy with the way I look, but when I put the time and effort to like get glammed up and like dressed up for parties or like going out, and I like put a lot of work into it, I always feel really confident of like, fuck yeah. Like put work into this shit.
There was a
Feel good. Want to take all these selfies.
yeah, there was like a boomerang or something you posted where you're like in front of a mirror and like you wink in front of it, and you look like just like a 1940s starlet.
Oh,
and,
thank
like,
you.
My ovaries were like, oh.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. But you're gorgeous, and
Thank you.
It was I was like, damn, Barbara, okay, bitch.
that was at New York Comic Con when we were me and the other voice actresses for Ruby were walking a red carpet. So like I rented a dress and like I got my hair did and everything.
Yeah, you looked
and-
amazing.
And I did my makeup all like kind of like a little more vintagey style.
Yeah, you look beautiful. You always
you.
do, but it was definitely like a.
Some days are worse than others. Like especially before my period, like the week before, I feel like gross and bloated and like everything is just like twice as big on me, and I'm just like I fucking hate the mirror.
I feel like that right now because I'm on my period and that's when I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like, oh,
Good to
bleeding
know.
mess.
I hate everything.
The improv class we took actually gave me a lot of confidence.
that
Me
was
too.
so much fun.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but us three and like I think 8 or 9 other people at Rooster Teeth took improv.
Oh, congratulations.
Took some
That
improv. 8
can
weeks.
be really
of improv classes.
scary.
Yeah,
Before we started, I did not want to do it.
yeah.
I don't blame you.
It was
Now
kinda
I
funny.
want more.
Yeah, no, I think we all feel that way. The first class, our instructor, who's like a great like improv guy here in Austin, he's been doing it for years. He's pretty well known. He went around the room and he asked all of us. He was like, "All right, what's your name and like why are you here?" And literally like all of us were like, "Oh, I'm so and so. I'm here because like Cameron made me do it." And none of us were like, "Oh yeah, we really want to be here." And then like towards the end, we were like, "Where can we get more? Where can we keep doing it?" And I think it's helped a lot, not just. On like shows on the spot where like more improv things are needed, but like for this, I think it's helped a lot.
Yeah. It's also tricks of not just acting and improv, but also teaches you how to listen better, how to be more engaging in conversation. It's like a lot of actually good tips and tricks that you could use for just everything, not just acting stuff.
Yeah.
That definitely helped me make me feel more confident. And I think I'm the same way as you guys, where it's like my job makes me feel really confident, especially doing this show has increased my confidence level like crazy, where I actually feel like more important and like what I'm doing actually matters. Because before it's like when you don't really have a purpose as much, it's hard to feel confident about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the host. You have to steer the show. You have to do the ad reads. That brings in a substantial amount of money for the company, and you're trusted with that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Where's my check?
I feel pride about that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's like even hearing stuff like how you like the show and watch the show, I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, it's just so different from all the other Rooster Teeth content.
It's very different, yeah. And I'm really happy about that, and I think we're all really proud of what it's become, and that we have such an amazing audience too. Like
Yeah.
I look at comments on the Always Open episodes, and it's completely different than comments on any other show on Rooster Teeth. It's like full of positivity and. No, I'm not saying that like everyone else sucks, but like it's just a different vibe to it. I think because the show is a lot more about positivity.
Right.
Well, it's about social dynamics. It's about communication. It's, other content, more comedic focused content, it derives comedy off the breakdown of those things.
Sure.
It's like being mean to people is funny in comedy videos, but this is about actual human communication, and it is a little scary when people take that sort of content as a pattern for how to interact with humans, because that's not what it's meant to be. This is a lot more constructive in that regard.
True.
And that makes it important.
Yeah.
It makes it a good teaching tool.
Yeah. So I've definitely got a lot of confidence after starting the show. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you?
Oh, that is a whole issue.
It's a heavy question.
A bit. It's weird because I treat the lack of self-confidence as fuel. If you never believe that what you've done is good enough, you'll always try to do something else. But it has to be kept in narrow boundaries.
Well, I also feel like some people are too hard on themselves and will never give themselves enough credit for what they've done.
But yeah, that just means you're going to do better next time. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't
weird.
know. Like I don't know if I completely agree with that. I'm all for pushing yourself and for wanting to do better every time you do something, but I don't necessarily think that you need to put yourself down for something that you've done or think that you're not good enough.
Oh man, I thrive on it.
Do you?
Yeah, I
bit,
get the like, okay, I can do better. I
Always.
get that being the fuel to
Sure.
kind of launch you into do things.
And after 20 years, you're pretty used to it. So I don't know. It's odd. I do struggle with it because I do get feedback from other people. Oh, you should give yourself a break. You should take pride in what you do. I'm like, nah, I don't want to. In a way, I'm almost too attached.
What
to
are you
not doing it.
worried that's going to happen if you do take pride?
Complacency. That you're like, yeah, I did a good job. And then you go home and you don't obsess about ways to make it better. You don't obsess about how you could improve. I have not observed that being a problem with other people. I'm just worried that if I do give myself a break, then I'll take it all. And I'll just, I don't know, stop,
Not
give
try
up.
to improve.
Yeah, kind of.
See, it's weird because like even with Always Open, like a lot of people message us and say how much they love the show and stuff. But even when we go on mid-season breaks or season breaks, we have tons of meetings of like, how can we make the show better, and what can we do to change it up? And that's even with the feedback of people liking the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like you should be able to take the positivity and be proud of that and happy with it, but also be able to want to improve yourself. I don't know. I feel like there's a balance you could achieve.
I don't know if it's just different like ways our brains work, but it's like I was a lot like that for most of like my high school and college and then early career. And then like in the last year or two, it's like I started being like, no, what you're doing is really good and you're doing a good job.
Yes.
And like, yes, there are places for growth, but you still can't diminish the accomplishments you've done, because I was beating myself up too much. And it's like, my dad, for instance, he worked tirelessly for decades and like didn't get a lot of recognition for what he did, and that eventually like ate him up inside. And it's like, I feel like he didn't seek out that recognition that he needed. And so it's like, he's been unemployed for years. He was suicidal at one point. Like, it's just, it can get to a really negative place, and I think it's okay. But it's just like, I found what I learned from my dad going through this journey was that I really needed to appreciate what I bring to the table. And when I don't do that, that's when I can start getting on a bad path, because I just have that brain chemistry that can take me on that path.
And I think that's a really important point too, of what you could bring to the table. I think a lot of people don't recognize that, of like, you are special and important for these reasons. And I think a lot of people tend to diminish their importance and stuff, and that's when it could get really dicey.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to recognize this. You're an important person because you could do this, you're special because of this, and it's like, even if you don't think you are special, you have a lot to offer the world. And people could, I guess, like be too hard on themselves, I think.
Kind of goes back to like the whole imposter syndrome thing.
Yeah.
It's like you feel like you don't deserve to be here. But I also understand, like you were saying, like, well, this is good, but it could be better. I could be better.
Sure.
You can always be better.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't think you should ever think that you can't do better and like ever be like, I have grown as much as I possibly can.
Yeah,
as
or
a
like, this is
human
the
being.
best it could be.
Yeah.
I've achieved my final form.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see your point, but also you're a good guy and you do
Yeah.
really good stuff and you're a talented dude. And
You're my
I would-
favorite part of the Google Trends show that I started watching yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah, that hat does not fit well. Head's too big. That's the next thing I got to work on. Grind down my skull. I don't know though. It's like oscillating between two. It feels like a ball that's bouncing back and forth between two barriers with the bumpers out.
Fair enough.
Sometimes I'll get too complacent and want too much or ask for too much. And then I feel like the world will kind of slap me back a little bit. And then I'll go too far the other way and like get too in my own head or beat myself up too much, have to come out of that. So it does seem like it's, sometimes emotionally I feel like I'm bouncing back and forth between not even extremes, it's actually in a pretty narrow range.
Okay.
But for me it's impossible to stay right in the middle all the time. So I was veering to the left or the right. And then I'll have some kind of weird emotional flare up and I'll have to chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, I missed a flight. I was gonna fly home to see my parents and do it early because I don't really like going to a hometown, I'm sorry. But
Where are you
it
from?
sucks. Azle, Texas.
Oh, you're from Texas. I had
am.
no idea.
Yeah. It's not a great town. You pass 3 trailer parks to get there from Fort Worth.
Okay.
And then they have a Jack in the Box, so that's
Oh,
cool.
hey.
That's good.
Yeah,
Is there a Dairy Queen?
there was.
Okay.
It shut down, but yeah, that
As
was.
long as there's a Jack in the Box, that's all you need. They got them munchies.
Oh, that didn't happen in my. No.
Yeah.
But no, the Dairy Queen was weird. It was always packed with like chain-smoking 70-year-olds.
Dairy Queens are always the
you
most
say
popular part of
7-year-olds?
any
70.
small
Oh, okay.
Texas town.
They are.
It's crazy.
Steak fingers.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh yeah. So I was supposed to fly home to see my parents. And I knew intellectually that they deserved that, and they raised me for 18 years, very loving. There's some issues there, but who doesn't have issues?
Sure.
So I was like, okay, but it was thoroughly obligatory. I was not looking forward to it at all. Was not emotionally bought into it. Missed my flight. They were like, well, we can bump you to the next flight, but you'll be landing at like 2 a.m. and my return flight was that day too. So it's like I could go see my parents for 2 hours and fly back. I just got really mad about that, and I felt like I had given my time too much, and I was feeling very selfish. It's like, this is bullshit. There's so much that I've had to compromise about my life with my parents or with my job or with my girlfriend, and just got really kind of in my own head in a really negative space. And I just like, this isn't good. Like, I knew enough to know that I wasn't thinking right. It's like, I'm just gonna go walk. And I ended up walking for like 6 hours. I made it from my apartment down to the beach and just sort of sat there and watched the sun go down. And somewhere in that process, I kind of came to terms with, I actually let my mom down, which I felt really, really bad about, and apologized to her. But then it did sort of readjust. Like, I was able to sort of start to appreciate the things that I had and had accomplished and the good things that were in my life.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know what led to that. I mean, I'd started dieting pretty hard, so I think just bottoming out on blood sugar was a big factor. But
So I think dieting and exercise also, like, yeah, it makes you feel better. It could also cause a lot of stress of just like, it's something you're always thinking about, and it could kind of take over a little bit.
But that is disappointingly routine, where I'll be on a good tear, and then little things will just build up, like little garbage piles in my head, and then it'll all overflow. And then 6 hours later, I'll be fine. And I don't know how to prevent that because it just keeps happening. But I think it is self-confidence related. Maybe the beating myself up
Have you ever thought
causes
of
that to stack up.
like seeing a therapist or anything like that?
I had seen a therapist for a while.
Did it help you?
I don't know.
Or do you feel like you weren't at a point yet where you maybe could utilize that properly?
I think that's more so this was on the back of my last breakup.
Okay.
Basically, I had to restart my entire life, moved out to California again. But yeah, I'd seen a therapist for a bit there, and then just switched over to like drinking and crying alone for a while, which is its own medicine.
No.
No.
Would not
Don't do
recommend.
that.
But yeah.
You could cry. Feel
Yeah,
free to cry.
crying's
Get those
totally
emotions
good.
You gotta
out.
do stuff
Yeah.
like that to then be like, all right.
Yes.
Coming from a family of alcoholics, just
Oh, sure.
don't. Yeah.
Not good advice. No. Yeah.
But I mean, that is how some people cope, and like that's an important point to make. And it's like I do understand like having those little things build up to a point where you just get to this explosion point, and that's where, like, when I was really young, I started going to therapy like when I was 7, and like had issues where like I could get the therapist to believe whatever they needed to believe and then not really do the work. But then I realized, like, as I was going through years and years of therapy, that like, why am I going to this if I'm not going to utilize it in a certain way?
Yeah.
And so it's like, when I was able to finally begin talking about even the smallest fucking issues that were bothering me, like, that was when I was like, okay, we're gonna come up with a game plan with how I'm gonna deal with this in the future. And it's like, I always think of it as you're physically making the new canals in your brain. It's like, to get the information to travel easier, it's like you have to keep reinforcing those canals. And so it's like, when you make those connections, just keep making that connection whenever you realize that you haven't, and things like that.
Definitely.
Like, that's what helps me, especially with my anxiety and stuff, is just being like, okay, we're just gonna make your brain a little bit faster at getting you to this point in the future by concentrating on it right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to like, and this I've definitely been guilty of this before, especially during college and even starting working here, of not taking things item by item or day by day, where it's like you start thinking about everything you have going on or everything you need to do, and it just compounds. And it's like, just take it step by step, like
Day by day.
bird by bird. And so it's like you think about one thing and then you just handle that and you get through it and you're like, cool, I can move on to the next thing. And it's like, once you start thinking about literally everything you have going on, that's when it could get really dangerous and toxic.
It's overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah,
We went from looby hands to
we're getting real. That's the show.
the true always open fashion.
It's true. But yeah, I think everyone is deserving of feeling confident about themselves, whether it's physically, mentally, educationally, in your workplace. Yeah, and I don't think you should not allow yourself to be proud of yourself or something.
I guess the answer is I have to find a healthier way to fuel myself then.
Yeah.
God, what is that gonna be?
Do you have any animals?
I have a fish. Bruce Gillis.
Bruce Gillis.
Yeah.
Cute. That's really great.
He replaced Vin Diesel. Just have fun.
Oh.
I had a fish and I named it Johnny Bravo. There's no pun in there. I just love Johnny Bravo. Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to our box of issues question.
Kronk.
Kronk.
Like big dumb.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big dumb fish. So we just got this new box of issues.
Beautiful.
It's like a little mailbox. It's adorable. And I'm gonna just show this little picture. This was sent to us by a mother and son.
Aww, that's
So
amazing.
cute. And they watched the show together. Hi, guys.
I'm so sorry for all the vulgar stuff
know.
that gets said.
No. It's from Lissa and Cody. I hope I'm pronouncing that
I
right.
think so.
They also wrote a question for our box of issues. We're not going to answer it today, but we'll save it for a future show. But they just want to say, hi, ladies. My son Cody and I wanted to send another fun box of issue to share. We hope you all like it. Quick intro of us. Been a single mom most of my life. I'm 44 and he's 22. We are pretty much best friends. He's a huge RBB fan, and I just signed up as a double gold first member.
Aw.
He has been watching all of Rooster Teeth content for several years. I've become a fan as well just by catching RT podcasts and Let's Plays when he was watching. Then he introduced me to Always Open and Ruby, and I was hooked. Hey, you got good taste. I actually plan on doing a Ruby cosplay next year for our OhioCon here. We also really would love to be able to attend RTX one year, hopefully. Awesome. Well, we hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for the box.
love
It's
this picture.
adorable.
It's
It's
really
such a good picture.
Oh, it's
Wait, can
adorable.
you see this? Can you go to Maggie's shot real quick? Okay. That's where we're going to put it. Right in front of that dog.
Oh, cute. Yes.
That's where it lives now.
Yay. Adorable.
So cute.
Thank you, guys. All right, so let's start with our first box of issues question. We have one for the show and one for the post show, so tune in for the post show for one.
So cute.
That is really cute.
And I'll put it down.
There's no more
Really
mail.
pleasant sound too. Hold on.
I know.
Hear that.
Oh.
I like the ruby on the back too. So
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Ruby
Stickers right there?
fans.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Woot toot. All right. All right, this question comes from Christian, who's 20 years old. Hey everyone. So I recently got out of a very toxic relationship with a rather shitty person. While I was with them, it was a poly/open relationship. We never really did stuff outside of each other, but having the openness eased a lot of my issues with commitment. However, I'm with a girl now that isn't poly, I can assume, and I respect that, so I'm only seeing her. My question is, do I need to tell her that I was poly and give her some context for the previous relationship, since it inevitably will rear its head in the form of my commitment issues, or do you think telling her would make her suspicious of cheating, since that's a common myth and around polygamy? Thank you, Christian, who's 20. Interesting question.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, polyamorous relationships are people who
Are comfortable with
Comfortable with
multiple
multiple partners of any sex.
Yeah.
And I would think at varying degrees of.
Yeah.
Of, 'cause
It's,
you
kind
can-
it's like an open relationship,
Well,
right?
you can have an open relationship where you're just sleeping with other people, but I think polyamory
Polyamory
is also
is-
like being in
You
relationships.
love other people?
Yeah,
Or-
it's like having just one partner, as I understand it, because I'm not polyamorous. I don't want to
Yeah.
like overstep, but it's like, it's just that you're willing, or not willing, but like you find that your love is beyond one person.
Yeah.
And that you just need to express that.
So you get
with
multiple
people.
partners, essentially. It's not just like you're dating someone and you can sleep with other people, like an open relationship might.
Polygamy, right?
Polygamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Latin.
Polyamorous, polygamy.
Well,
cetera.
isn't polygamy marriage? Is it?
No, that's just, is it only marriage?
I don't
Thank you, Tex.
know. Anyways,
Yeah.
We're
poly. We'll call it poly because
We
we
don't know what
clearly
we're
don't
talking
know
about.
enough about
It
it.
is mixed up.
Ooh,
Thank you.
a lemon.
It's got a little lemon juice.
Sour.
I love how we always give Lawrence a new drink.
God bless.
So
This
my
is a-
answer is boring. It's like, it's the same as like what I answer for everything. Like, do you want to be in a relationship with someone that you can't be open with about your past? And I don't.
True.
So that's kind of where I am, but I'm also 28 now. Oh God.
Me too, Maggie. Me too.
But it's like, I'm just at a point in my life where it's like, if they can't accept me, flaws and all, they're not worth my time.
Yeah, I get that. And I think it's an unhealthy way to start a relationship where you feel like you need to lie about a pretty big detail of your life.
Yeah. But do you feel like you have to be that open from the? I mean, how long have they been together?
The partner doesn't necessarily need. You shouldn't lead with "Here's all the people I've fucked."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more like. The good thing is, gentleman in question sounds like he's aware of his baggage, and that's he's miles ahead of other people.
Yeah.
It's
So-
yeah, they wrote we never really did stuff outside of each other, but they still had the openness.
I mean, I don't. From the sounds of it, the polyamory doesn't really factor in all that much. It's
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
commitment issues. He's going into a relationship with some baggage after being messed with by his previous partner.
Yeah.
You can just draw the line there.
Yeah.
And yes, there may be some stigmas associated with polyamory, but it doesn't sound like that's actually a factor until it is. Like if you feel those feelings for someone else,
Yeah.
Maybe that's when
you
you
should be
bring it
clear
up.
about being polyamorous. But yeah, I think as far as this exact situation is concerned, say, look, I've got commitment issues. I don't like commitment, but I like you a lot.
Yeah.
If you, and at 20, like
Yeah.
if you're looking to get married, maybe that's a conversation we need to have. But I just think you can go into it saying, look, I'm coming out of a pretty rocky relationship. I've been hurt in these ways. And here are the like emotional hangups I have. And just be honest with that stuff.
I also don't think there's anything wrong with being honest about the fact that you're in a poly relationship. If you're with someone and you know that like, oh, you want to try this out and be just with them, and be open and honest about that of like, hey, this was the relationship I was in before, but like I know that what the assumption is with that kind of relationship, but I'm just interested in you and I want to try this out with you, but this is like my previous relationship and those stipulations that we had with that.
Just to interject, is that really like that's not a stigma I'm aware of? Like with
I didn't think-
polyamory,
yeah,
It's just
like
insecurity.
I think
Yeah,
it depends
it-
on the person because I wouldn't be worried about that either, but
I think it has to do with if your partner is ignorant to what polyamory is, or if they're like, I don't know.
yeah. No, I get that.
It's just like, even when looking at like big love and stuff like that, it's like, not that that's, you know, a good description
Yeah.
of what it is, but it's like, I never even really thought about polygamy as cheating. Like, that connection has never happened in my
I
brain.
guess it's more for the people who might not understand that kind of relationship or be able to wrap their head around the fact that like
Some
there's
people
anything
are
besides
very
monogamy.
strictly
I
monogamous.
guess that's true.
right?
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, I'm strictly monogamous.
Yeah.
But like, I would date a poly person if they were going to be monogamous with me. Like, it's
And
like,
that's, like,
sorry, that's a
within
deal
their
breaker
past.
with me. If that's a deal breaker with you, that's okay. We can be friends. Like,
Yeah. And who knows, like if you have that talk with her, she could be like, oh, this is actually something that I'm interested too.
yeah. And I never had the confidence to try it or something.
Yeah, or I've never been with someone else who was comfortable enough.
But
to
it
do
also
that.
seems like he just, I mean, it does specify. Did we say specified if he was a male?
It just says Christian 20.
Christian, 20. Same thing. Christian says that they never actually acted upon it.
Yeah, they
That it
said
was just like an option.
yeah, and they said the relationship was toxic.
Yeah, I think that's the problem there.
And it was a poly/open relationship. So
Yeah.
it sounded like this was like their person, but they had
Yeah, it seems like your issues
option.
lie with whoever you were with, not so much like the situation that it was
Yeah.
in.
Well, it's like, I know one of my friends, like, has friends who were in a situation where, like, it was this couple and it was a straight couple. So, like, the lady was in a relationship with another woman, and the guy in the relationship eventually wanted to see if he could explore, like, and then it became this great big headbutting thing. And it's like, it seems like he was trying to get back at her for having a relationship and like all these sort of things. And it's like, I feel like that's just a result of people not understanding what they wanted out of the relationship and what
Right.
they needed from their partners. And so,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you think, and this is speculating on someone's condition when it's not elocuted, but do you think the polyamory only is there as an out for the commitment issues? Because it seems like he led with that.
It sounds like that. It sounds like he liked being poly because he has commitment issues.
Yeah, so it's, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the two are necessarily conflated. You can say, look, I don't want to get nailed down.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with you. We have a good time together. But for one reason or another, bad experiences, parents broke up, whatever. I'm not buying into the commitment thing. Because, his previous relationship sounded like it was still
Still fairly monogamous, yeah. It seems like he's struggling with wanting to be honest about it, but I don't feel like there's a need to necessarily have to say anything about it. It's like if you were in a previous relationship and it was toxic and it didn't work out, then that's it.
Yeah.
I think the only situation you'd have to be in where you should be open about it is if you desire that again or have feelings of like not wanting to be with just one person. It's like, then maybe you should talk about it of like,
I
hey,
have this history.
I have this history. I was in a poly relationship before, and it's something that I feel like it's something I need.
Yeah.
I guess
I
for
think
me, it's the communication you owe a partner is the information that will affect your relationship with them.
Yeah.
And to the degree that applies here, it's your baggage out of the previous relationship, whatever toxicity happened, and then your fear of commitment. So you can say those things, your polyamory may factor into it, and I think it's good to bring that up. Like, this is how I feel. I don't believe that love should be constrained to one person. That's a good conversation to have, especially if you want the relationship to last. But if you have commitment issues, you probably don't.
Yeah.
So I think that laying out the information that could pop up later, if you know you have a flat tire and stresses are flaring up and you freak out and just run because you don't want to be committed or involved, it's good for the other person to know those things. But as far as the dating history goes, Christian, you own that.
Yeah.
You don't owe anyone an explanation for what you did or why you did it. So I don't know. That's tricky. I do feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody, they deserve to know certain things about you because it will affect them, but not necessarily the entire history. I don't think.
Yeah.
See where it goes, play it by ear. But yeah, again, communication we always talk about on the show. It's important. So if you feel like it's going to affect your relationship, then yeah, I would say talk about it. And if, again, that person doesn't accept you for who you are or what your past was like, then maybe they're not the right person for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
And
kind of
I know a lot of like what I've seen in comments sometimes is like they always talk about like you just needing to communicate, but it's not that easy. And it's like, yeah, it's not easy, but as you do it more, it gets easier.
Yeah.
So like that first step is never easy, but like to
break that seal.
yeah, and like if you plan on being with someone for a long period of time, it's like they need to know you is how I feel. It's like you no longer own yourself, like you are part of this relationship is how I feel.
Relationship is two people,
Yeah.
even
three.
after it ends.
Or four.
Yeah.
Or
however many you want it to be.
Or a whole harem.
Or in our case, 4.
It's kind of like you were saying. If you think about the issue in its entirety, you'll get overwhelmed. But communication starts with saying one thing, and then they say one thing, and then you say one thing, and then ideas are exchanged. So take it one step at a time.
And then you have a whole Jenga set.
Yeah.
And then you could play Jenga.
Oh, but
Hey.
Beautiful.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for your question. Since this is a season finale, we're going to be taking a little break before we start back up with the next season. I know. We're going to hopefully come back with some fresh.
Cut to me right as I was yelling.
Right as you were going.
they thought you were doing what I was doing.
Maryl's tired. She needs to nap for a month or
That's
so.
what my Red Bull
I do.
vodka.
I need to hibernate.
Hibernate until we come back. So hopefully we'll come back with some new games and some new segments for you guys. As always, we love you. We appreciate your support and everything you guys have given us. We love doing this show. It is the light of our lives. Lawrence, so happy you could join us. Maggie, as always.
Thank
happy
you so much for
come.
asking me.
Of course.
It's so much fun.
And we're also going to have a little survey for you guys. It's going to be in the description of this video. We'd love if you could take it, give us some feedback on what we've done on Always Open, what you want to see on future shows. We'll have all those questions laid out in the survey for you.
What's your favorite hole?
Yep.
That's going to be one of the questions.
I mean,
we'll
Gotta
see.
know.
I don't know.
Get a tattoo
I
on your
couldn't answer
forehead.
that.
Nostril. Fine.
This one.
And thank you guys so much for watching our 3rd season, and we can't wait to be back for season 4.
Yay.
We love you. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oops, sorry. Finger.
Smash.